Hi there, my name is Vanessa Reis Esteves, and today I have the great honor and privilege to present to you the research that I've been conducting under my PhD. So as you can see, my research is dedicated to analyzing course books in Portugal at a primary level for the third and fourth grades in order to determine the main differences regarding the types and number of activities across both generations of course books. Now, to ensure that a comprehensive study is carried out, I will also be examining teachers' perspectives regarding both generations of course books, as well as authors' perspectives. So this slide presents a breakdown of the way that the thesis has been organized. And as you can see, there are two main parts, the theoretical framework and the empirical study, both parts with 4 respective chapters. So the first chapter is really dedicated to analyzing young learners and the various factors that are involved in teaching them. I stress the teacher factor, as in Portugal, this is of pertinence. Teachers in Portugal are not generalist teachers, as is the case in many countries across Europe, but rather specialized EFL teachers. And then chapter 2 looks into the role of course books, and also the different contents and competencies that these should develop. We also discuss the coursebook package and the need to adapt the coursebooks to students. And finally, the chapter ends off with a brief reflection on the future of coursebooks and the possible shift from print into digital. Chapter 3 is dedicated to providing the reader with various models that can be used to analyze coursebooks. And then we also provide a summary of the main studies conducted on primary school coursebooks at an international level. Chapter 4 helps the reader understand the particularities of the Portuguese educational system. Now, this empirical part of the thesis begins with chapter 5, which is really dedicated to presenting the methodology followed by the 3 studies. So chapter 6 presents the first study, which targets the analysis of the actual course books. And as you can see, 4 research questions have been presented. The first one aims to analyze the total number and types of activities included in the previous and latest generation of course books. The second one aims to look at these activities in order to discuss whether there are possible associations regarding the number and types of activities. Research question number 3 looks into the type and number of activities across both generations of course books for both grades, for vocabulary, grammar, listening, speaking, and writing skills. And then the 4th research question looks at the possible association across the number and types of activities for the skills that I've just mentioned. So as you can see, in the 3rd grade, a total of 9 course books were analyzed, and in the 4th grade, a total of 8 course books were analyzed. Now, because of the limited data obtained, as teachers can only adopt course books that have been certified, a Fisher's exact test for data analysis was selected, and a quantitative study was carried out. Chapter 7 moves on to analyzing teachers' perspectives regarding these course books in order to see whether their perspectives confirm the findings in chapter 6. So do they share this kind of knowledge? We begin by analyzing whether primary teachers indeed use course books to teach the 3rd and 4th grades, and if so, if they are involved in the selection process, and if they have the tendency to choose national or international publishers, or whether this is indifferent. We also look into the various aspects that influence coursebook selection. And the 3rd research question looks at the curricular guidelines and sets out to determine whether teachers are aware of these and whether they consider that the coursebooks are effective in implementing these. And then finally, we end off by inviting or analyzing whether teachers think that the previous or the latest generation of course books is more effective in the type of activities presented to develop 21st century skill and activities of a more playful nature. So to obtain this data, a questionnaire was carried out with the help of Google Forms. And as you can see, it was divided into 3 different parts to cater for the analysis of the questions that I've just presented you with. The data has been recorded on an Excel file, and a quantitative and qualitative analysis of the data will be carried out in order to determine the mean frequency of occurrence. Chapter 8 will be dedicated to analyzing authors' perspective regarding the course books that they have written. And so we set out to analyze whether the previous curricular guidelines, which have been replaced by the new curricular guidelines, have influenced and improved the quality of the course books, and which generation of course books the authors believe to be more conducive to learning. In order to obtain this data, a questionnaire will be sent out via email to both the national and international authors, and then a qualitative study will be conducted following a thematic analysis model. And I would now like to move on to presenting you with the preliminary findings that we already have for Chapter 6. So as you can see, regarding the first research question, significant associations between the proportion of grammar, vocabulary, reading, listening, writing activities have been found in both the third and fourth year course books. Now, regarding the second research question, we found that a higher proportion of vocabulary activities was found in the third generation of course books in comparison to the grammar activities in the fourth generation of course books. Regarding the third research question, we've also determined that a variety of activities was found across both generations of course books, right? And so significant associations between the previous and latest generations of course books have been found, and some activities have been used in one generation and not in the other. So at the moment, we are busy conducting the analysis of the data in Chapter 7, which focuses on teachers' perspectives, and also designing the interview questions, which will be used to obtain research and data from the authors. And this brings me to the end of my presentation. I would like to thank everybody for your attention and now invite you to ask any questions that you may have.